I'm podcasting again, so you're now a running gag on the podcast.
Did he give Sarah her socks?
I gave the giant bag of socks that you gave us and
Yes.
distributed them amongst the family members.
Hello, everybody on the podcast.
Okay, hi mom, bye mom, love you. Anyways, you're talking about the church by your house.
It's a black church predominantly, and it's called Bethany Baptist Church, and they make liberal use of initializing it. So it's on several signs around it and around town. It's referred to as BBC.
You know what? They know too. That's the
They
thing is,
must.
yeah, you
It's like a
don't
power move.
exactly. You're like, you want what kind of church you gonna go to? The SWC church?
And like it almost like it'd be like more crass and easier to make fun of like if it wasn't a black church. But you're right, because it's a black church, it just feels like say something about it.
Yeah, I dare you.
We dare you. Yeah.
They, they get a new person that comes in there. They like here at the BBC,
Hell yeah.
we're laying down all the religion in all the right spots. We hit every
Yes,
corner of religion. They just use it as a euphemism all day long.
absolutely.
Can you go?
I mean, I'm sure I'm allowed, but I wouldn't just because like I don't want to.
Come on, RJ, investigate.
No.
Investigate the BBC.
Here's the thing, like I don't respect churches, but I do respect the people who are going there enough to not do that to them. That would be like accepting a job interview at like a fast food place without having any intention of following through on it. That's just like a callous thing to do.
Okay, I just thought you wanted to explore some BBC.
Uh, I have the internet.
Have you ever looked up BBC sermon? Let's look it up right now.
Oh, goodness.
Shit's gonna get real weird on this podcast today.
Yeah.
There already is tits in this one, so
Oh,
yeah. Want to see some tits?
sure.
All right, we'll show you some tits later.
Never seen any before.
It's like tiny, tiny tits, so you're gonna like them. You like little titties and BBCs.
Okay.
RJ made the fuck weirdest face to me. That was amazing. Itty bitty titties.
I mean, like, okay, but you can't say it like that because, like, small tits implies like a woman's breasts are small. Little titties sounds so uncomfortably wrong.
You're probably right about that.
Like, and I know, like, it doesn't mean anything,
It
and
doesn't.
but
And
like,
if the fact your brain went there is where I'm laughing. Like, why are you thinking that's uncomfortable? Why does that make you uncomfortable?
I mean, you fucking hear it though. Like, I'm not crazy.
I didn't say you're crazy. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
what's happening in your brain is that's creepy. In reality, it's just words that are always used for tits. It's just when you put them, or like small things, like you could say something's itty bitty, but when you put them together in your brain, it has a nefarious tone to it, which is fair. I just said it. I'm not thinking there's anything nefarious, which is also fair, I think.
I mean, the way words sound does mean something, and I resent people who say otherwise.
Words mean nothing. Words
Because if
never
I
have
if I
meant
say
anything.
like if I say like below average breasts and then I say below average breasts, that's a different thing that I'm saying.
But even just saying below average breasts also sounds fucked up for some reason in my brain.
Yeah, yeah, that's true because it's almost like implying like a rating system instead of like sizing.
Yeah, they got like 20% Rotten Tomatoes, those breasts.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like different sizes. But like not in like a tasteful way and like whoa, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. Like it was an accident.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, there's boobs in this. I didn't, honestly, I wasn't going to show them, but I will now. I feel like I need to show you now. I was
Sounds like you're
just
talking
gonna,
about your own breasts.
well, no, that'll, if you just got to ask, buddy, give me three winks out of the left eye. I'll know what you mean.
I'm gonna have to try very hard to not do that on accident now.
Why? What's wrong with my tits? Are they below average titties?
I imagine, yeah. I bet they are.
You haven't seen, you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, my mind palace is filled with such nightmares. So
Yeah, I'm gonna say like Ron Jeremy and I have the same chest. know.
Covered in the scratches of women trying to get away from you.
Trying to escape, yeah. Uh, I said all summer I was going to do unknown cases. It's winter, summer's over. I did a super highly known heavy case that I didn't really ever know anything about, but I did know about
Nice.
it. Do you remember what it was? Dr.
Uh,
Octopus.
the the case of the small titties.
It's such a minute part of the episode, pun intended.
Yeah, I only just remembered in that moment as I was saying that why you were saying Dr. Octopus. So I don't think that that memory exercise worked.
No, I didn't think it
No.
would. I thought it would be funny to try.
Yeah, no, it was a good shot. It's very funny that it did not.
No,
Because I was
it's
like, why did you say that?
like, what does the fucking
I
doctor
was
have to
like,
do
we're
with
doing
this?
Doctor. Why are we doing an episode about Dr. Octopus? I was
No,
very confused.
we're covering a very well-known true crime case from California. It's Casey Anthony case before Casey Anthony. It's like the same kind of case as that one, and it was pumped up the same exact way by the media. Bunch of lies involved. It's the same fucking case, just 20 years earlier, or I guess 10 years earlier. This is the case of the murder of Laci Peterson.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Okay.
An elite team of private detectives.
What if balloons are aliens? Maybe that's the key component we're missing.
Cover-ups.
John's guilty.
Mysteries that need to be solved.
Maybe Mormons need mountains.
Richard, shut up.
Did you remember hearing about this when you must have been super young?
Oh yeah, yeah, but I mean, it was all over. Like that was like probably one of the first times I remember, like seeing like it in your face nonstop. All anyone could talk about was fucking Scott Peterson.
It's true.
Tabloid. The cover. He was on the cover of tabloids in like you'd be in the checkout lane at the grocery store, and that dude's name would be on like all of the magazine covers, and nobody really had any thought about the fact that we're all like 6 or 7, and we're just like, who's that? And it says like on the cover, murdered his wife, and you're like, oh, that's a guy that murdered his wife as
Yeah.
like a single digits child.
That's okay. I feel like is that on the same cover of the tabloid where on the corner the guy was like, I was on these two died on the Titanic and they were gay. That fucking article you saw was it the same?
Yes, no, not the same, but similar.
It would have
Not
been
the same, but
awesome if that
similar.
was the big one, like the Scott Peterson, but in the bottom corner it was like the gay one. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, gay Titanic guys.
Oh man. Yeah, no, you're right. It was huge. It's super funny though, because it's like OJ level of fucking media coverage. You know what I mean? Like so much and
Hmm.
just some random guy. Like, do you remember anything about it at all?
Was she pregnant?
She was, yeah.
Yep, and he just like constantly maintained his innocence. I think you even mentioned that he still does
Still
last
does to this
week.
day. Yep, to this day,
Yeah.
he still does. Yep. All right. Well, so this quick little thing here. On December 24th, 2002, 27-year-old pregnant Laci Peterson goes missing while her husband Scott is out fishing on the boat he had only bought 3 weeks prior and hadn't told anyone about. That's the official narrative. That sounds kind of crazy, like a crazy story, but when it's summarized in one sentence, but it really isn't. This case is super famous, but it's actually like really boring. I didn't really enjoy doing this one that much. It's not that I hated it, it was just like nothing super special, I guess. Her husband, Scott Peterson, was ultimately convicted of his wife's murder. To me, that's the craziest part of this episode because this guy got sentenced to death on only circumstantial evidence. Like, they had nothing that actually tied him to killing his wife, which get murdered for that, which is crazy to me. Case caught national attention. I'm pretty sure it got national attention due to the fact that when Laci went missing, she was almost 8 months pregnant. It was around Christmas, and the fact that they're good looking white people. No one cares if ugly people die.
I don't remember him being good looking.
Well, let's take a look. He's not bad. He's not bad looking. Like, yeah, well, you don't think Scott's a good looking man? It's like a
I'm looking.
classic,
I'm looking. I'm looking.
classic American like frat
No,
boy.
brother, no. He looks like he killed a pregnant woman.
You're not right now. He's the guy who did kill a pregnant woman, so he technically is that image for
Yeah.
sure.
I love his long hair in later life, bunned up in the back.
It is his jail hair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wonder why he has to have that hair, because he's not making his own decisions in there. Someone's telling him to grow a
Hmm.
ponytail. Uh,
Yeah.
but Laci was hot. She's pretty good looking.
Yeah, Lacey's pretty.
I'm just saying, usually I just find it funny that good looking people get covered a lot more. You never see like this girl's missing and she smiles, she has one tooth. Like you don't see that ever.
Yeah, no. People are generally like good.
Yeah. So yeah, the mystery here is Scott claims his innocence, always has. I literally knew nothing of this case going into it, and I'm just reading what the extreme media coverage has to say. So at first I was like, what the fuck? And then I started listening to documentaries, or sorry, watching documentaries and listening to podcasts. And then now I'm pretty sure that if this guy did kill Laci, it was based on the feelings of a jury, not actual evidence. Like, I don't even know if this guy killed his wife after reading all this. You could tell me. You tell this is what this whole thing's about. I'm in the middle now. And I didn't think I
Hmm.
would be. I thought the media, because when I was a teenager when this was happening. I was late teens, and I thought for sure I've been in true crime since I was little, but I always thought that guy fucking super guilty. But I only read like the cover of National Enquirer and shit, so I never actually read into it, and I'm doubting myself now, which is the only interesting part about this whole thing. I think I did 2 weeks research, is what I'm saying. So
Wow. Okay.
I'm a fucking expert. Okay,
I believe it.
welcome to
Lay it on me,
2025.
brother.
Some serious people are looking into this case again, like the LA Innocence Project has actually recently taken on the case. Most of society thinks that Scott's guilty, but I think if these guys are looking into it, there's got to be a little bit of something. And after I tell you, you can tell me. So I know you don't really like true crime that much, RJ. In fact, I think you hate it. I think this show is cathartic for you to rag on it the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely nailed it there.
So you have the freshest eyes of all. That's why I was thinking, like, you don't even care at all. So you could
Thanks.
solve this out of anybody. Out of anybody, you're the only guy who could probably solve this.
Yep, that's what I usually say.
So let's talk about these people here for a second. So first we'll talk about them, then we're going to talk about the case actually is, and then we'll figure out what's going on. Laci Denise Rocha was born on May 4th, 1975 in Escalon, California.
Oh, I didn't realize she used to be a cockroach.
Is that what Rocha means? Or Rocha's?
I don't know. I assume that that's the surname of a cockroach. So,
I gotcha. So the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine is a cockroach. He is the cockroach.
well, no, his parents probably are.
That's true.
Yeah.
She had an older brother who was 4 years older than her. Her parents, Sharon and Dennis Rocha, were high school sweethearts, got married straight out of high school. They owned a dairy farm in Escalon. In 1977, when Laci was just over 1 years old, is it 1 year old? She's only over 1 year old. Her parents divorced and she moved with her mom to Modesto, California. Laci spent her weekends with her dad at the farm. It's not like there's this big crazy breakup there, just separated. Escalon had a population of 7,500 people, while Modesto is a pretty big city. I didn't know it had 22,000. 220,000, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, man, I know you're from a small town, but
No, 220,000 is what I meant.
okay, that's a pretty solid sized city.
Lacey's mom meets this new guy named Ron Gransky, whom she never married, but he helped raise Brent Laci from the time Laci was just over 2. Laci had a nickname growing up. It was JJ. What do you think that stands for? I don't think you'll ever guess it, but I like that.
Uh,
Yes.
Junior Jerkoff. Was I close?
You were pretty close, yeah. Short for Jabberjaws because she wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Just
damn.
talked and talked as a kid. She's always friendly and outgoing. Kind of the opposite of what Scott is, as you're gonna see later on. She's the outgoing one. He's more of like the stay-at-home kind of guy.
Well, interesting that her parents didn't nip that in the bud because, like, aren't you supposed to do that when you have a daughter? You say, like, hey, you can't talk that much, or else your future husband will murder you while you're pregnant for your child.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I
Yeah.
got Molly on the don't talk
You
that
just
much
get
fucking
really in
routine.
her face and you just say, like, do you want to die?
Sit her down. We gotta have a serious
Yeah.
conversation here.
Yeah, you talk too much. That's gonna end your life.
You're
And
right.
it's gonna be your fault.
Yeah. So basically, this is her fault, is what you're saying.
Yeah, some poor man is gonna go to jail forever because you couldn't shut the fuck up.
Do you want to see your future husband on death row? Because you won't,
Well,
because
you
he'll be
won't you
dead.
won't see him, yeah.
She got good grades in school, and her mother instilled that going to college was super important and getting a good education, no one could take it away from you. Her mom got married way too young and thought that she'd missed out on college coming away from a mother. So she didn't want that for her kids. Laci was into sports. She was a cheerleader. Fully grown, Laci stood 5'1" and probably didn't weigh over 100 pounds. I kind of say that like facetiously, like I don't know how much she weighed, but it's not much. I do know when she disappeared, she was weighed about 150 pounds, but she was pregnant. Anyways, she's a small girl. She went to California Polytechnic State University and majored in ornamental horticulture. What the fuck is that? It's stupid.
Christmas trees.
Yeah. She majored in Christmas trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know about that super common degree?
Yeah.
The job market's a little oversaturated these days, but
You can only work at the North Pole and there's like 7
yeah,
jobs. That's it.
yeah, it's only for 2 months out of the year. Little extra if you do cleanup, but it's kind of like summer school for teachers.
You
Not everybody
definitely
does
need
it.
a 4-year degree in it.
Yeah.
While attending Cal Poly, Laci would frequent a restaurant on Morro Bay called the Pacific Cafe. This is where she met her future husband, Scott. Let's talk about him, and then we'll get back to where they meet up there. So, Scott Peterson was born on October 24th, 1972, in San Diego, California. His father, Lee Peterson, owned his own crate packaging company, and his wife, Jackie, owned a boutique in La Jolla called The Put On. And you know how long it took me to figure out that LA space Jolla is La Jolla? I came into this thinking it was La Jolla, and I would have been calling it like that for a while. So I'm glad I looked that up earlier today. I'm like, there's no way that place is called La Jolla. Yeah, that's what kind of person I am. Scott's grandfather, Jackie's dad, was murdered around Christmas in 1945. A recently fired former employee caved his head in with a lead pipe on April 21st of that same year. That guy spent the rest of the days in jail, and she was only a toddler when it happened. But in her 70 years of life, she had known 2 people who were murdered around Christmas. I feel like that has got to be a statistic. That's like how often does that happen? Not very. How many people at Christmas have you seen murdered, RJ?
Um, I think none.
I think none. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
good answer. I know for sure none. 100% none.
Yeah. I mean, like if you ask me like to remember every Christmas, I don't think I could. So
I thought you were gonna say if you're gonna ask me to remember every murder, I don't think I could.
that too, that too. Well, actually, I can remember one, but that's it.
Okay. We'll save that for another day when we want to solve that crime.
I've told you about that, haven't I?
How you murdered a man? No, you
No, how I
haven't.
saw someone get murdered, sir.
Oh no, did you?
Maybe. I don't know. It happened like, oh shit, like 8 years ago now.
Like right in front of your face? Was it your
No,
friend?
no,
Was he your girlfriend? Are you the same as like in The Boys when he's walking with his girlfriend, she just gets smoked by a superhero? Is that what happened? You watched the superhero murder your girlfriend while walking her down the street going
that would
super
be a
fast?
lot. That would be a lot cooler of a story instead of me hiding behind a pillar in a parking garage on the corner of a street while someone got shot to death in the middle of it.
Nope, didn't tell me that story.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, that's terrifying. Were you just like randomly walking the street, you heard gunshots and decided to hide?
We were leaving a show at a comedy club in Buffalo, New York, and we were trying to find our cars, and there was a fight outside a bar, and car squealed up, and a guy got out and shot a guy to death.
Huh.
Yeah, we had to wait because like I was like, "Yo, we got to get the fuck out of here," but my much cooler and calmer friend was like, "Shut the fuck up and chill out." And that was a good move because we did not end up having to talk to any police.
Because you shut the fuck up and chilled out?
Just timing it with him because had I like run or something, yeah, I probably would have like run into the cops or some shit.
A canine officer just takes you
Yeah,
down.
right. Yeah. I mean, because I was like, yo, let's go. And he was like, maybe wait until the guy with the gun is fucking gone. And I was like, that's fair.
Oh yeah, you probably could have been shot by the fucking guy.
Yeah, I think it's like, who knows? Somebody else is gonna fire off a shot or something or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
But
that shit's wild.
we walked down the street like and as like we were walking like the dude happened to be if I was like 2 feet to my left as we walked past him I would have had to step over him as he was like dying.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's so. Did you like watch him die instead? Did you guys just stare at him while
No,
he
bro,
died?
we left. That was crazy. I was 2.5 hours away from home.
I was gonna say I knew it was in Buffalo because it's Buffalo. I was gonna guess. I was gonna be like, did this happen in Buffalo?
Yeah, sure did.
No, that's wild. Was it at was it people in the comedy club or was it just random
No,
veterans?
no, because we went downtown to drink with. Do you know Harlan Williams?
I know who Harlan is, yeah.
Yeah, he was the headliner. We went out to a bar afterwards. He didn't stick around for that part. But he was there earlier.
That's cool. Harlan's
Yeah,
funny, dude.
yeah, it was a fun show.
That's cool. Okay, well, yes. You've seen at least one murder though. That's something.
Yeah, it was not Christmas. It was a month before Christmas.
Yeah, because you're one up on Scott's grandma because Scott's grandma only knew two people that were murdered. She didn't even watch one murder happen at all. So you have probably
Loser,
yeah, exactly. I don't know.
fucking loser.
So Lee and Jackie had six children total, but Scott was the only one that was both of theirs. Like Lee had three kids from a previous marriage, and Jackie had given up two for adoption when she got pregnant, way too young for kids. She gave up two kids when she was way too like that's wild to me. I feel like the excuse like I was way too young happens once, maybe. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The second one's like you did it again, dude. You did it again. Stop giving him up. Like, take care of him. Scott was the youngest, and he and his older brother, his half brother, I guess, John, shared a room in their modest two-bedroom apartment in La Jolla. John only came on weekends, so it was a pretty good deal for him. Scott was kind of like the favorite, just because he was the only one that was both. Jackie really tried her best to give Scott the life she never had and the life that she couldn't give to the other two she put up for adoption. He was a good kid. He had good grades, Boy Scout, kind of a homebody, super close with his parents. He was a quiet kid, never really hyper like the rest of his classmates. Listen, rule follower. I did see some kids that grew up with him later in life, like call him an asshole, but I think that's like in retrospect of what happened and the fact that he was quiet. Like I don't think he was actually an asshole to these guys. They were just like, "Oh yeah, I remember Scotty killed his wife. He was an asshole." Like that's what people would say for sure.
Hmm. I will say, like, if you know somebody from your past that you didn't like that much, and then something like this happens to them, from personal experience, you love making light of it and just believing it immediately.
Yeah, well, that could be it too. You're right. That could be these guys are like, I always hated that guy. I knew it, and they're just relishing in it for sure.
Yeah, I went to high school with a guy who got brought up on sexual assault charges, and I was like, yeah, bet he did.
Saw that one coming.
He was acquitted, but
Was
not in
he?
my mind. Yeah.
Oh, that's not in your mind is fine then, I guess. What was I gonna say? I watched this is kind of going off topic a little bit, but I watched that documentary that came out on Prime about the Idaho Five, like that fucking murder that we keep saying looks like fucking Rick.
Hmm.
And
Is Rick.
it is Rick. But they
That's why he's not on the podcast anymore. They tried to cover for him by saying he died, but five
he's,
other people did.
he's in jail right now for
Yeah.
murdering four sorority girls.
Yep.
But yeah, no, they got a bunch of people from that used to go to school with Brian Koberger or whatever, and they just fucking this guy was a weirdo. I always knew it. You could tell those guys are really relishing, like they hated them the whole time. I don't get the same feeling from these guys that were
Hmm.
just saying like maybe, but anyways. As Scott got older, he starts to go golfing with his dad. Lee had a theory that if he makes his kids do the things that he does, then he'll get to spend more time with them. So he taught them all how to fish, hunt, golf as a consequence. And Scott got right into golf. He was actually a really good golfer. By the time he was 14, he was already like destroying his dad. He played golf in high school and was teammates with future pro golfer Phil Mickelson, which is Mickelson's like Tiger's fucking the only competition Tiger had in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so that's pretty crazy. He was a couple years older than them, but they definitely that's the kind of level of golf he was playing. In 1990, Scott enrolled in Arizona State University on a partial golf scholarship, and Scott lost his scholarship and they kicked him from the team after he was taking out another young golfer for drinks, like a prospect. They brought a kid over, like recruiting him. He's like, let's go get hammered, and he got busted. And that kid was Chris Couch, who's another pro golfer. So like, I don't know, this guy was really good at golf. Scott moves back with his parents after getting kicked off I think he only finished his first semester, but got kicked off the golf team. And he starts to work a bit, just floating around, working at living with his parents. He's still trying to be a pro golfer. He's working at ball boy in different golf clubs, but he also had to get a regular job, and this is where he gets that job at the Pacific Cafe where he meets Laci. Laci had another friend named Renee Garza that worked at the cafe, and as soon as she saw Scott, Laci, she thought he was hot, and she gave her number to her friend Garza to give it to Scott. Scott thought it was a joke and threw the number out. When Renee reassured him that it was a real number, he pulled it out of the garbage like a desperate loser. Uh, just kidding. Fuck you, Scott Peterson. Actually, I don't even know. I don't even know if I hate this guy or not. I'm not sure if he did it.
Damn.
So kind of fuck you, maybe fuck you. I don't know. Yeah, they hit it off, and eventually Scott proposed to Laci in 1995. Scott tells her that he's going to go back to school, stop focusing on his dream to become a golfer. And he does go back to school. He transfers into Cal Poly, where she's going to school, majors in international business. Laci graduates in 97 and Scott the year after. Her in her ornamental horticulture, her Christmas tree degree, and him in horticultural business, which I find went from international business to, I don't know, plant business. I don't fucking know, dude. Like, probably too hard for him. That's what I'm saying. They get married on August 9th, 1997. They're both in school at the time. Seemed like a nice wedding. You can go look at videos and pictures and stuff, whatever. She finishes school while Scott still has his senior year to finish. During that year, they had to live apart. Scott lived with a bunch of friends, and Scott ends up cheating on Laci with a co-ed named Linda. I don't know that her name's Linda. I just want to call her Linda. I don't know her name. We don't call her Linda. Can we call her Linda? We're good. Call her Linda.
I mean, yeah, weird, but okay.
Who is Linda and how did she hurt you, Richard?
Yeah.
Laci apparently knew about the affair because she and Scott were caught boning when Linda thought that Scott was her boyfriend. So like Linda burst in on Laci, and so yeah. Either way, whatever. People cheat, I guess, and they were working through it, is what Scott keeps saying. Scott graduated, and them being freshly married, they decided they should open up a sports bar in the San Luis Obispo campus, like the same place they were, called the Shack at the Cal Poly, and it was pretty successful, very successful. They did really well. It was always full, always lots of business, but it did take up most of their time, and they weren't having fun doing it. They were like constantly on call. Owning a business would suck ass, especially a restaurant on campus. After 2 years of owning the restaurant, the Petersons decided to move closer to Laci's parents in Modesto and sell the thriving yet time-consuming business. And they go buy their own house. And then Laci gets a job as a substitute teacher, and Scott got a job at a place called Trade Corp USA, which was a Spanish fertilizer company trying to get into the American market. Trade Corp USA. That doesn't sound like a real place, does it?
No, it does not.
It sounds like you made it up. And it's a fertilizer place. It sounds like it's full of shit. That was a good joke. All right.
No, that was.
Yeah, no. He made 60,000 a year and bonuses. I don't know.
In what year money?
1997. So it's not a terrible.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good for 1997. He worked out of a warehouse where they would store all the products that Trade Corp sold. They got a golden retriever that they loved named Mackenzie.
What? That's great.
Why is Mackenzie the golden retriever the best part of that?
Mackenzie's because it's such like it's one of like I love dogs that have names that they shouldn't have because it like at the same time like graces the dog with like a fun, interesting name and denigrates everybody who has that name.
Okay, who's the Mackenzie
Like,
you hate?
nobody in particular. It's just very funny to think of like
Okay.
because like I have a lot of fun. Like I have two of my coworkers are named Nick. My brother is named Nick. So is my dog.
Yeah, I forgot I asked you that. If you guys named him after the dog or the dog after him.
Yeah, no, it's just a coincidence. This dog I named Ryan.
So you just like giving him human names, is what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Silly's name is Sylvia, which is a little more fine for a dog, but
Yeah, you don't hear lots of Sylvias out there. I
no,
guess
yeah.
maybe you do. Well, no, it's not.
Well, when I told my one coworker Nick about because he was asking about my dogs, I was like, my dog's name is Nick, and he goes, "Oh, that's my name." And I went, "Yep." I said, he's like, "What's your other dog's name?" I said, "Sylvia," and he goes, "That's my grandmother's name." I was
He
like,
just
"Oh,
got his whole family.
yeah."
That's good. I wonder if he's got a Ryan.
Yeah, his dead father.
So Laci loved having a home. She filled it with all her plants. She decorated it. She loved to cook. She loved Martha Stewart. She said it's her favorite show. She's that girl. She just loves that kind of lifetime. But as time passes, Laci starts to want to have kids. In fact, I think she always did. And Scott, over the years, told her that he had zero interest in wanting to have any kids. But for some reason, he changes his mind. I don't know if she wore him down. Maybe he had a change of heart about the whole thing. I know I never wanted to have kids, and then I had kids, and I can't imagine life without them. So maybe it's just you change your mind over time. I don't know. So he got on board with it, and then after trying for months and not succeeding, Laci finds out that she is pregnant in early 2002, with her due date being February 10th, 2003. They find out it's going to be a boy. They decide on the name Connor. Laci's pumped about being pregnant. Scott outwardly not being as pumped. Sharon tells a story in many different media outlets on how when she felt Connor kick inside Laci's belly for the first time, she was all about it. And then, Laci looked at her and said, "I'm so glad you enjoy this with me." Scott hates, and he doesn't even want to feel it. He doesn't want to feel the kicks. He doesn't like it at all, which makes me think he wasn't pumped about the whole thing. There are times when like Sharon Rocha, like Laci's mom, says a bunch of like talks so much shit about Scott, but like, is that just you out of anger? You liked him until a certain point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, just finding things to not like him. Anyways, I don't. It doesn't sound like he liked being like. I think he said yes to having kids because Laci wanted to have kids. I don't think he wanted to. 7 months into Laci's pregnancy, Scott starts another affair with a woman named Amber Frey, or sorry, Amber Fry. In October 2022, Amber was introduced to Scott by a woman named Sean Sibley. Sibley described him as a nice single guy she met at some work conference, and he would be perfect for her. Amber says sure, and they meet up for a coffee, I think, the first time they ever got together. Amber was a single mom and a massage therapist in Fresno. Fresno is about a 90-minute drive from Modesto, but they seem to get together quite often. It didn't take long for Scott and Amber to be in this full-blown, like, secret relationship. Like, secret for Scott. Amber totally thought that was her boyfriend, but, like, secret for Scott. Yeah. He would always, like, be gone and just tell Laci I'm traveling for my fertilizer job. Like, I gotta run shit all the way to fucking Fresno tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm busy. It's late from work, always gone for days at a time. Laci didn't think anything about it. I think, like, I haven't talked to Laci. She's dead. But
Oh, is that the only reason?
yeah, that's the only reason trust me, I would have tried. Uh,
Laci did not respond for comments.
yeah, I just don't think that she cared that he was gone all the time because there's so many people being interviewed for all the shit that happened with this. Not one person was like, she always complained how he was always out for the night or never coming home on time and stuff. No one ever said that one thing, so I don't think she cared. I think she just had plans and lost track of time or something. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Scott says that he told her about the affair, and yeah, she broke it off and they were trying to work through it or whatever. So I don't know. Also, something his pregnant wife had no clue about is that on December 9th, 2002, Scott bought a 14-foot fishing boat for $1,400.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not, a 14-foot boat, it's not a big boat, fits four people maybe, 3, 4 people, like a outboard motor on it. It's not like a yacht.
I mean, still.
Yeah, just didn't tell anybody though, which
That's the crazy part. Like,
yeah, which I don't know because according to her family, she had no clue. But according to Scott and eyewitness accounts by someone at his warehouse, Laci had been seen near the boat not too long before she went missing. So did he tell her, just not everybody else? I can't ask Laci. Scott says yes. The family says no. Family doesn't know everything. I don't know. The same day on December 9th, Amber Frey claims that Scott told her on a phone call that this was his first Christmas. It's going to be hard for him because this is his first Christmas he'd be without his wife. Still married, she's still around. This is 3 weeks before she even disappears. Amber thinks that he's like a widower or something. Doesn't want to pry, is what he meant. She's like, oh, cool. She just wants to give him a good Christmas because, that's kind of sad. So she invites her to her like Christmas party. And on December 14th, they go to that party together. They get a photo taken of them at that party that ends up being used whenever the public finds out that he's dating another woman. They plaster that photo through the news and tabloids. Somewhere between when he buys the boat and Laci going missing, Scott buys cement and buckets to make himself homemade anchors for his new boat. Yep.
You spend all that fucking money and you don't buy a fucking anchor?
Yeah, he had to make his own. He made 5 of them. He says he makes one, but there's evidence he made 5. So he had to make anchors.
He just kept fucking up.
Yeah, probably. That honestly, that's a good theory in general. Like he just fucked up the first 4 because he's a moron. That could have happened.
Yeah, for sure.
He bought but here's the thing. Here's the problem. He bought a 90-pound bag of cement. He claims he made 1 anchor and used the rest on his driveway. The driveway's tested later. No, none of the same cement. It's not the same cement. It's just weird that he lied about it. Like, we know you didn't use it on your
Yeah.
driveway, dude. Why are you lying about this shit?
Hmm.
In the next few weeks leading up to Christmas, Laci and family were making plans to spend time together during the holidays. On December 23rd, just before 6 p.m., Scott and Laci go to Laci's sister's salon to get haircuts. Scott offers to pick up a fruit basket for Laci's sister. He was going to go golfing the next day and would be on the way. Grab it on his way back. They're all getting haircuts and a fruit basket because they're all going to Laci's parents' house on Christmas Eve for supper. So they go home. This is the 23rd. Eat pizza, watch Monday Night Football. Laci and her mother have a phone conversation at about 8:30 p.m. And this is the last known conversation that Laci had with someone who isn't Scott. According to Scott, they watch a movie in bed, fall asleep at around 10:30. They're watching The Rookie. You ever watch that movie?
No, but it sounds familiar. The baseball movie?
Yeah. Where the 35-year-old guy joins the pros because he hurt his arm
Right.
as a kid. Anyways, it's okay movie. It's like a sports movie, you know?
Hmm.
So they pass out around 10:30. The morning of Christmas Eve 2002, Laci's up at about 7 a.m., eats some breakfast. Scott gets up at around 8:30 and sees Laci kind of puttering around. At 8:40, she logs onto the computer and browses MSN, Yahoo Weather, and 2 Yahoo shopping sites.
Yahoo?
Yeah. 2002, baby.
Okay, but you're saying you guys is that like a regional thing? You say Yahoo,
Why, what do you
not
say?
Yahoo?
Oh, that's just my Canadian accent.
Oh.
Sorry. Yahoo? It's Yahoo. Doesn't it sound weird saying Yahoo?
No, it's what they said in the commercials for it. Back when websites used to have commercials.
Sure, I say Yahoo.
Yeah,
Yahoo?
fair.
Yay. Let's meet in the middle somewhere. Yahoo. Yeah, Yahoo. Come on.
How about
We'll
just
both
what it's
change.
fucking called?
We both, we both changed for this one.
No, no. What are you, a conservative? Like, look, I'm not comfortable with being all the way wrong, so I need you to be a little bit wrong too. So let's move away from the reality of the situation to this new place where I can feel better about myself by way of you feeling worse.
Yeah, there you go. You got
Deal?
it.
No.
You got it. You got it. Deal. You said deal first. Deal. All right. She's looking at these shopping sites. She's looking to buy a red scarf and a sunflower umbrella.
Like over my dead fucking body is that bitch buy that shit for herself without asking me.
I just spent $1,400 on a boat. We don't have money for that shit. So during the trial, prosecutors try to say that Scott was the one browsing the internet, like to cover his tracks, that she's still awake. So he's like going on to all the sites she typically goes on and looks up a red scarf and fuck it. Like it seems so not smart. Like that's diabolical level of like they're gonna check this internet. It's 2002. Like I don't think he did. I think it's her for sure. Scott was supposed to go golfing that morning, but the weather wasn't looking the best, so he decides instead to use the boat no one supposedly knows about to go fishing solo. Scott spends a little time in the morning with Laci. He's having breakfast. She was mopping the floor while they were both watching Martha Stewart. And Martha Stewart was making meringue on her show. That's he remembers. At trial, prosecutors try to say that Martha didn't have a segment where they make meringue that day. They even say it right in opening in their court, like their opening statements in court. But they did actually, and the defense proved it in their opening statement by playing exactly what Scott was saying was playing early that morning. Like, what are you talking about? It's right there. You didn't even watch the episode. You just made a bold statement saying it wasn't there. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't think Laci thinks he's still going golfing at this point. I think she knows about the boat, where he's going, but maybe not. People keep saying that they think he's going golfing, but I don't know. You'll see in a second. When questioned by the police about his fishing trip, police ask what he was fishing for, and he tells them, I'm not really sure. I'm just going out fishing. And that comes up so much in the trial too, where he's like, he questioned what he was fishing. Like, have you ever gone fishing before?
Yeah.
Like casually, like, or just like you make a big trip out of it?
No, just like we're at a thing and we brought poles.
Yeah. Are you like, I'm going fishing for this fish, or you just want to put some poles in
No,
the
we were
water?
just Yeah, no, it was casual. Like
Yeah.
nothing intense. It was awful.
To me, I don't know why that's such a big deal in court. Like, yeah, who cares? He probably didn't know what he was going fishing for. He probably just wanted to go fishing. If he was going fishing, I don't think he'd be like, I'm only fishing for this fish and this fish only. That's
No, yeah, I mean all the times nobody was adamant that it had to be a certain type of fish. I wish they were because I caught a fucking sunfish and it stabbed me in the foot.
the sunfish stabbed you in the foot.
Yeah, you know those goddamn things have the spines in their
Oh,
fins
like
that
that. Like that
yeah.
kind of, okay. Yeah, because I have a sunfish here, but it's not that.
Oh yeah, no, you have to grab them. You have to like fold their fin down or something. And I maintain that no, you don't. You don't have to even interact with them ever. They can just stay in the fucking water because they live there and you don't.
That's true. How long ago did this fish stab you? You're still angry about it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was 9.
All right. So if he's out fishing, whatever. Scott leaves the house around 9:30, and he's the last person to ever see Laci Peterson alive. Scott drives to his warehouse where he stored his boat and loads up around 10:15, 10:30. He goes into his office, sends a couple emails, answers to some from his boss, and he's checking his voicemail. All this checks out on a timeline. Like they can prove that he actually did this stuff.
Hmm.
Then he heads up to Berkeley Marina, which is about an hour and a half away, to go put your boat in for an afternoon on Christmas Eve. It's a little weird. I get it. If you're gonna go fishing, usually it's early in the morning. It's not at like, I don't know, 12. Like by the time he gets there, till 12:30, like 1. That's the worst time to fish. But he has a receipt for the marina, for parking at the marina, so that checks out too. According to the prosecution on this, Laci was dead and sitting in the back of his truck while he's doing all this, which I also find a little crazy. Just a dead body wrapped in a thing midday. Also at around 10:15, actually 10:18, it's very specific. This neighbor named Karen Servas finds Mackenzie wandering the streets and puts him back in the Petersons' backyard. Mackenzie was running around with his leash still attached.
I'm sorry, Mackenzie was a boy?
I think so. I think they called him a bunch of times. You're questioning
Interesting.
you're making me question it, but I'm pretty sure it was a boy, yeah.
I guess that's traditionally a human woman's name.
It's very true. Very true. Yeah, so
Be
Scott,
like if I name this guy Deborah.
before I knew if when Smoking Man was a baby, I called him Smoking Man, and everyone was like, "He's a girl." I'm like, "I don't care, he's Smoking Man," but he was a guy the whole time.
Wow. Look at that misgendering and you knew.
Yeah, the whole time. Just gotta talk to them. Listen.
When when your pets give you their pronouns, listen to
Yeah, just
them.
listen. Exactly. Just listen. What do you care? Why do you have to? Anyways, Scott calls Laci at about 2:15, leaving a voicemail asking her to pick up the fruit basket. Let's hear Scotty talk. You want to hear some Scott
Oh,
Peterson?
sure.
Hey, beautiful. I just left a message at home. 2:15. I live in Berkeley. I won't be able to get to Villa Farms to get that basket for Papa. I was hoping you would get this message and go on out there. I'll see you in a bit, sweetie. Love you. Bye.
Does that sound like suspicious to you, that call?
I mean, so supposedly she's dead at this point.
That's what everyone's thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it does then because it does sound like a call you'd make trying to cover your ass.
I guess, like, yeah, sure. But I mean, let's pretend she's not dead. Does it sound weird?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I
It's
don't,
it's a little it doesn't feel right. I mean, like I would need to hear like another voicemail from him, not under those circumstances. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, because
But that
he'd be
sounds
acting away. Yeah.
it gives that like fake vibe because like I don't know like I love my wife more than anything, but like I feel like I'm not like that like it's almost like formal. It's
Yeah,
not, but it almost is.
I know what you're saying. I can see it now.
I
Like,
mean, I'm sure people also like called differently 20 years ago. I mean, he gave her the fucking time. That dates it immediately. Like
yeah.
you don't do that because you don't have to now, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he says, I left you a message at home too. Like if she was there, she'd know. You're right. It kind of sounds like he's just like, see, I made 2 phone calls, not just one.
Yeah, it feels he's doing too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it
Because
is.
if it was like, "Hey, call me back. I can't get the fucking thing. I'm sorry." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's how I would probably call Misty. But it wouldn't be like, hey, here's all of the information you could possibly need to exonerate me from a potential crime.
But there's also, you got to remember, like
Also, I
now.
love you so much, baby. You have no idea how much I love you. It's crazy. I would never do anything to hurt you or murder you ever.
you're,
Bye, beautiful. I can't wait to see you. Definitely, I'm going to
you're right.
because you're alive.
There's also the fact this is on a voicemail. Like, it's not a voicemail, it's a fucking answering machine. Well, I guess it's
Yeah.
voicemail. No, he called her phone. Nah, whatever. Okay, cool. I'm with you. He tells her Berkeley, so that's why I'm thinking maybe she did know about the thing. But if he killed her and she's already dead at this point, just to set up an alibi, you're right. He just says Berkeley, and then he could just tell everyone that like she knew about the boat. I said Berkeley.
Yeah.
No one can ask Laci though if he's lying. So he says he did. I don't know. Scott gets home around 4:30, 4:45. Sees Laci's car still in the driveway. Cell phone records put him at home at around that time, even though the same neighbor, Karen Service, testified in court that Scott's truck wasn't at home at 5:05 when she left her house for her Christmas stuff. He gets home, the house is empty, unlocked. He finds Mackenzie in the backyard where Karen had left him. Leash on, seems odd. Didn't really know what's going on. Maybe just Laci stepped out for a bit, so he jumps in the shower, takes a shower, then he washes his clothes. Super normal. That's what people do. They go home, they shower, and put up their clothes in the washing machine right away. That's what everyone does, right? Everyone does that.
See, now that's fucking crazy because like how often is it that like it doesn't matter even if it's not like your wife, if it's like your friend, if like something like is amiss, you're like, "Ooh, shit, really hope they're not dead." That is always going to be a concern no matter what. Like that's just there as an option if something unexpected happens or if someone's not answering you or if they're not where you thought they were going to be. Like, yeah, when you initially think that you're like, haha, no, of course not. But like,
Maybe
yeah, exactly. Like to
I
just be like very nonchalant, especially in a time where there's like, I don't know, maybe you're more desensitized to it back then because of the lack of communication that you would normally experience, I guess. I don't know.
this is all what he says happens when he gets home too, right? You got to remember that. Like to me, it's super weird that he gets home. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. He empties the mop bucket. That's what he says he does. He empties her mop bucket that she was mopping before they left. So, and then he gets in the shower, washes his clothes, which nobody fucking does that. Nobody's ever done that. Nobody gets home and goes, you know what? I better put my load of
No.
the clothes I just wore in the washing machine.
What was he supposed to be doing after this?
Like, he's supposed to be going to Christmas supper at his in-laws.
Yeah, no one's emptying the fucking mop bucket before they're leaving the house.
Yeah, and then
Also, that's crazy.
I can understand going for a shower, getting ready to go. Then he
Yeah.
says it around 5:15, so about a half hour. Okay, he has a slice of pizza too, which you were just about to have turkey or whatever. Fuck, dude, what are you doing? Stop eating the pizza. But anyway, so he says he starts to get where he starts thinking about it. Then he checks his voicemail, and there's a voicemail from Laci's parents saying, "Can you on your way over pick up some whipped cream? We need some for dessert and stuff like that." And then he goes, "Wait a second." In his brain, I thought she was probably at my in-laws' house already. She's probably pissed at me. I went fishing, waited too long. They came and picked her up. What did she call me for? So he calls right back, 5:17, asking if Laci's there. He says, is Laci? They're like, no. He's like, I just got back from fishing. When I came home, she wasn't here. Her car was, Mackenzie was, with his leash still attached. Laci is missing. That's what he says to them. Laci is missing. To which Sharon thought was weird to say, like, what do you mean missing? That's a pretty extreme word. To me, it's like she's missing though. Like that's what I would say, I think.
I mean, yeah, but like I feel like you would that's what I'm saying. Like if he jumped to that quick, he should have jumped to it when he saw the fucking dog in the backyard with a leash on and his wife's gone.
That's true.
Not jump to emptying the mop bucket and
Yes.
doing laundry. Like that is a way bigger sign than like, no, fuck this guy. I'm like, I mean, obviously, like, yes, let's finish the episode or whatever, but I'm done.
I'm
I'm
s-
so
I'm
yeah.
setting it up in a way that like on purpose because like
Okay. All
this
right.
is how it's reported. So he said like the original story says he left when he left he tells the cops like when he left she was going to take the dog for a walk and then do whatever she was going to do for the day. But then later on, when they're like, he says, "Oh, I emptied the mop bucket," he changes it to like, "Oh yeah, she was mopping," and then she planned on taking the dog for a walk. Scott explains the story to Sharon. She hangs up the phone. Ron calls 911 immediately, not Scott. Let's hear that 911 call.
Yes, my son-in-law called. He went playing golf this morning at 9:30. My daughter's been missing since this morning. She's 8 months pregnant. She took her dog for a walk in the park. The dog came home with just a leash on.
So the dog came back without your daughter?
Right.
Okay, what is your address, sister?
Well, I'm at...
Is that where she's...
So it's over at Maloma Park is where she went for the walk.
Anyways, it's a whole long thing where he explains the whole thing. But I just find it interesting that he tells the 911 officer or responder that like he went golfing. So like he's telling them he's going golfing still.
Yeah.
So maybe the fucking boat is way more of a secret than I think. So Scott and the Roaches have a few more conversations, and then Scott heads down to the park to look for his wife real quick while he's waiting for the cops to show up. Ron and Sharon say they're going to start calling hospitals and police stations. They didn't find anyone, neither did Scott. So Scott starts to knock on his neighbor's doors looking for his wife, which I find a little weird. So one of the neighbors tells investigators later that when Scott came by, he told her that he'd been golfing, not fishing. Police arrive at Scott and Laci's house and start to interview Scott. First thing police say is that the house smells clean, like someone just cleaned it up, which makes sense. She was mopping the floor, before she left. So I emptied the mop. And it's really clean because tomorrow, Christmas Day, we're having dinner here. So Scott tells the police the same story about the dog and tells them that she's gone all day fishing. He does say fishing, not golfing. Like, she's just missing, dude. I will note here that nowhere in the police reports did they say that Scott is injured in any way. So, like, if he did attack her or whatever, she didn't fight back. She didn't cut him or anything like that. There's anywhere for that. I was looking for that for a long time. Did he still have scratches on his arms or shit like that? Nothing. Well, at the house, police do a cursory search of the house. Like they ask him, like, can we take a look around? He says, sure. Investigators quickly find her purse, keys, sunglasses, and wallet in the closet upstairs, which would be very uncharacteristic of Laci. The investigators find that the phone book was open right on the page where there's defense attorneys. The yellow pages are open and like lawyers. So right away they assume Scott's looking for a lawyer. I don't know, man. This guy's super smart, can get rid of a dead body, but you think he's just going to keep the page open to the defense attorneys? Like he's on the computer pretending to be Laci, all while leaving the yellow pages open to the lawyers' offices in town. It can't be both. He can't be both smart and dumb. You know what I mean? Like he can't have...
Yeah.
Like maybe, like if you guys want to say that he's like master genius going on the computer, then you can't say left it open for you guys. Like, yeah, stories all over the evening news in the area. Slow news day. Around the holidays, and it just hit for some reason. Story became a big story right away. The next day, there's still no sign of Laci, and over 900 people had already gathered to search the neighborhood for any signs. They'd made thousands of posters, even on the first day of the disappearance. Someone opened up the fucking Kinko's and went to town. There's 30 Modesto police officers looking for her on Christmas Day. Some of these 900 people, some were on foot, some were on bikes, some were on horses. Searchers on sea-doos, checking waterways. Canines were called in. Fucking helicopters with giant searchlights for searching surrounding areas. It's a ton of effort to find someone that's not even been missing for like a full day yet. And I think that's part of the reason why this became huge. It just, the effort they put into it, perfect timing. Like I said, around the holidays, Laci's hot and pregnant. Like I said, the toothless person wouldn't have got the same amount of time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. Yeah, this is very much a reminiscent of the toothless analogy earlier.
And the 24-hour news cycle was just starting to become a thing at that time. So they're looking for things like this to like grab the public's attention, and it did. Nancy Grace got a hold of it. You know what I mean? It's one of her first cases. Well, she was a lawyer before, but I mean one of her first like reporting on stuff. I'll play you some Nancy Grace later. She just hasn't got wind of the story later.
Everyone forever, everywhere is literally good.
So the giant search. A reward starts to be offered for the safe return of Laci. It started at $25K up to $250K. Ends up being $500,000 for any information. The family's doing a lot of press, asking for whoever took their daughter to bring her back. She's pregnant, for God's sakes. But Scott is nowhere to be found in front of the camera. He doesn't do any press early on. Only his like parents, her parents, and his parents, and brother and sisters and stuff like that. No Scott though. He said he didn't want to do the media at first because he wasn't comfortable making his missing wife a big sensationalized thing. He just wanted to find her. You know what I mean? All I want to do is find my wife, so I'm not going to help. And also, I want to add 2 porn channels to my cable service because that's what he did only days after his wife had been missing. Added the Playboy channel and another one because he didn't have internet porn at your fingertips at all times. Scott's
Well, I mean, not good access.
2001, you wouldn't have a like walking around with you on a phone, would you?
No. You'd have access to it, but it would
Not
be
not
a
at all
whole thing.
times. Yeah.
No, yeah.
You'd have to like watch it load up on dial up.
Yeah. Yep.
Scott was in the background. He was helping with the search efforts. He's helping a lot. He's also cooperating with the police most of the time. Like he'll agree to do a polygraph. Like they'll go, oh, let's eliminate you with the polygraph. He goes, sure. And then the next day he'll like back out. But like that's cooperating, right? It's kind of cooperating. To the cops, Laci being missing was foul play. It wasn't like she wasn't missing. She's dead already. They're not going to find them alive. So someone probably killed her. And to them, Scott Peterson was the obvious suspect. They say that even before they saw him avoiding the cameras, they thought he was guilty of whatever happened there. He was just acting really weird. He didn't look sad. He wasn't asking lots of questions. He wasn't like, what have you guys been up to? He was just like kind of letting it happen and just like, he was like planning where they should be searching, which I find like if you're going to be the guy who did it, it's not going to make you look good if you're like, no, go look over there. You know what I mean? Like point in the obvious wrong direction.
Yeah.
Scott's and Laci's family are still on Scott's side. They even make excuses for him during press conferences. They're like, oh yeah, he's helping out. He just doesn't want to be in front of the cameras during press conferences. On December 30th, 2002, only weeks into their investigation, a lady calls into the tip line claiming she'd been dating Scott for a month now. That lady is his girlfriend, Amber Fry. As soon as cops find that, they have a motive. So they're pretty excited about this whole thing. So they ask Amber Fry not to tell Scott they'd spoken to him and ask if she'll record the phone conversations with him. Maybe you can get him to say something fucked up. I think Amber is why Scott's not doing the press conferences. Not because like maybe he killed his wife, but I don't think it's because of that. I think he just doesn't want Amber Fry to find out that he's like looking for his wife, and if his face is plastered all over the news, she's gonna find out right away. So he's trying to avoid the media.
I mean, I think it's because he murdered his wife.
Yeah, but he already told her that this is my first Christmas without my wife 20 days before she was actually dead. So that's something. 12 days before she's actually dead or whatever. So that's something.
12 days? That's pretty ironic. It's on the first day of Christmas, my true love
Stab
is
me in the throat.
not there anymore.
Just before the 9th, when he said that Sean Sibley, the person who introduced Scott and Amber, found out that Scott was actually married. So Sibley confronts Scott saying, like, tell Amber or I'm going to tell her. This is the day she found out he was married before, because that's how he framed it to her. On December 30th, when she finally sees the news of Laci's disappearance, she calls the tip line and confesses about being his girlfriend. So on New Year's Eve, the day after Amber Fry tells the cop she's his girlfriend, Scott calls Amber to wish her a happy New Year's from Europe. That's what he says anyway. He's actually at the candlelight vigil being held in honor of his missing wife and unborn child. Amber records this phone call. Here's the bit of that phone call where he says he's in Europe enjoying New Year's. This guy is fucking awesome.
Yeah, hey.
Oh my goodness.
I found a quiet place. Pretty good, huh?
That's really good. Oh my god. It's like been all this crazy static and stuff. I'm like, so frustrated.
I know, I've been trying to call it. Working. Amber?
Yes?
Amber?
Oh.
Stop. Amber.
I'm right.
Amber, you there?
He's like
Yes.
making this
Amber?
up. Like he's making the
I
set
can hear
static.
you.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. I'm walking.
Okay, I'm like, stay still or something.
I know, I'm going to make it work.
How was your New Year's?
What's that?
How was your New Year's?
It's good. I'm just, everyone's in the bar now, so I came out of the alley. Quiet alley. Is that nice?
Yeah, it is. I can hear you. Very good.
It's pretty awesome. Fireworks and everything. The Eiffel Tower. Some people all playing American rock songs.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, I just want to tell you, she knows that she's like he's at the fucking candlelight vigil. She knows everything that's going on. He just like, I'm in fucking Europe, and she's like, okay, tell me more. And he's like, they're playing American pop songs. Isn't that crazy? It's because you're fucking down the street, you psycho.
Yeah, Amber's rocks.
Yeah, she's national treasure in this.
Yeah.
She really is. By the way, there's over 300 recorded phone calls between Amber and Scott in like a month or whatever they were recording. Like that, he's fucking crazy. He called her a lot and she just put up with it the whole time. She is a national treasure. On January 3rd, 2003, Modesto police asked the public for help verifying the whereabouts of Scott Peterson in the days before Christmas. So that just fuels more speculation from the likes of Nancy Grace and the other talking heads just trying to make money off this story. On January 6th, Scott is recorded on the phone coming clean to Amber. He admits that he's searching for his missing wife. I wasn't going to play this one, but I am going to play because it's like she fucking busts his balls too. Like Amber's the best. Amber is really good.
January 6th, I was sitting in the Modesto Police Department at a table with, a few detectives. Scott confessed that he had been lying to me, that he was married and his wife was missing.
You told me you'd lost your wife and this was the first holidays you'd spend without her? That was December 9th. You told me this, and now all of a sudden your wife's missing? Are you kidding me?
She's on the phone with him, and I'm thinking, hopefully he was going to confess. And she's hammering him pretty hard.
I lost my wife.
Yes, you did.
I did. And yes.
How did you lose her then, before she was lost? Explain
I'm thinking,
that.
hopefully I don't gotta work.
Different kinds of loss.
Then explain your loss.
I can't to you now.
Anyways, that's the end of that. But she literally goes, yeah, you told me this before she goes missing. Explain it. And he just goes, I can't now. Like, wow. Amber Fry just fucking, like, she's the best.
Yeah.
On or near January 14th, someone at the National Enquirer found out that Scott was cheating with another girl, and they're going to run the story. So the police decide, they knew, they didn't tell anybody yet. So they decided to get ahead of the story and tell it to the family. They didn't want the story to surprise them, so that was kind of nice of them. The story is printed, and Amber Fry becomes a huge story alongside Scott. Scott may have had some sympathy in the public before the news of the affair, but after this, the public for sure thought Scott was involved somehow. Up until this point, the Petersons were on his side. 9 days after the public finds out that Scott was having an affair, the Roaches go on national TV and withdraw their support of Scott's claims of innocence due to lack of communication and cooperation. They start by claiming he's actually the murderer of their family member, which I also find pretty fucking badass.
So go ahead and say something really quickly, and the main reason that they want to do it now is they've been up pretty much for the last several days, and rather than doing separate interviews back at the Red Lion where the volunteer center is, they decided that they would rather just make a statement to everybody now, if you could respect that, because they've been up since pretty much 2:30 this morning.
We'd like to thank all of you for being here and helping us trying to find our daughter. And we'd just like to send a message out there that whoever has her, please, please, please let her go. Bring her back.
We love her so much. We want her back. Please, let us have her back.
Yes. We want her and our grandson home safely and immediately, so please bring her back to us.
If you guys have questions, go ahead.
Laci was just a loving, happy, generous, vivacious person. Laci loves life. She loves.
I don't care that much.
She said was.
She said was, yeah. They're already on like. Look at Sharon. She's so sad. She already thinks that.
Yeah, this stuff is. I hate that shit. When has that ever helped anybody? Like, I would never go on the news
and try and get your family. Like,
what? How many times has that actually helped? Like, they're already reporting on it. Like, what the fuck is me crying on TV gonna do? Just add to the media circus.
You could be right, but that's what Scott keeps saying. Like, that's Scott's argument. He doesn't think this is going to help. That's why he's not doing any of this shit.
All right, well, you don't have to fucking compare me to Scott Peterson about it, Richard. I don't think
I'm just saying.
Very fair.
I'm just saying, this is what Scott's excuse for not doing it is.
I was making an indictment of the media, not the poor family being exploited by them.
Okay, one little quick thing. Did you see the tall kid? Like, that's her brother. That's Laci's brother. And the girl beside Sharon, that's like his brother's wife, Amy. What's with people that like people that marry people that look identical to each other? Like, they look so much alike, it's creepy. It's like, why did you marry someone that looks like you, dude? Anyways, Ron has his little like emotional breakdown in there, which is fair. Like he's sad about fucking Amber being gone or Laci being gone. That's what everyone expects from Scott. Scott's just not that guy. Scott, I just don't think is that guy. I don't think he's gonna. Anyways, well, so the same day on January 24th, Amber Fry holds a press conference as well, just to tell everyone that she is Scott's girlfriend, not a mistress. She didn't know he was married, and she told him that she recorded him saying some fucked up shit. She finishes off by telling the Roaches how sorry she was and sorry that they're going through this. She wanted to stay out of the media as much as possible because she had a little child at home. She was getting threats and just wanted to keep her little girl safe. Later on, nudes of Amber would be posted online and her life would be picked apart by Nancy Grace and others. That was where the titties come from. I don't think I want to show Amber Fry's titties to you. Because she is a national hero.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Here's Amber Fry talking just for a second. You can see, this is why her press conferences is exactly why I think she's a national hero. She didn't have to do this. She did it for herself, and she was terrified. You could just tell by her fucking hands.
Ready? Here we go.
Okay, first of all, I met Scott Peterson November 20th, 2002. I was introduced to him. I was told he was unmarried. Scott told me he was not married. We did have a romantic relationship. When I discovered he was involved in the Laci Peterson disappearance case, I immediately contacted the Modesto Police Department. Although I could have sold the photos of Scott and I to tabloids, I knew this was not the right thing to do. For fear of jeopardizing the case or the police investigation, I will not comment further.
Yeah, didn't have to do any of that. She went full-blown undercover cop. I like it.
Good for her. I mean, imagine how pissed you'd be being lied to like that, though. I mean, like, you got to go full vendetta.
100%. Fuck you. Burn down the fucking place. I imagine she was so mad. And that's why she called the cops, because she was mad. Like, I don't even think it was to be good. I think it was to be evil, but it was like the goodest way to be evil. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So Scott goes into save himself mode and does a bunch of press. Didn't do any press before. Gets interviewed by Katie Couric. Gets interviewed by a bunch of people. Here's one of the interviews real quick. I'm just going to show you a clip of this interview. You can see Scott. You tell me if he sounds honest.
Laci alone to go fishing on Christmas Eve.
Okay. We have separate pursuits. And being, 7.5 months pregnant, she's not going to want to go out in a boat. So I... You want me to turn that off?
Yeah, what is that?
That's my phone, unfortunately. I thought it was off. Yeah, it's kind of going crazy, isn't it?
He didn't hesitate to turn it off, and some would say...
Yeah, this lady has a point. She'd say that he didn't turn it off because he just... Like, he didn't even answer it. He figured he'd turn it off, or he'd answer it to see if maybe fucking they found your wife somewhere.
I think everybody sitting at home wants the answer to the same question. Did you murder your wife?
No, I did not. And I had absolutely nothing to do with her disappearance. And use the word murder, and yeah, I mean, that is a possibility. It's not one we're ready to accept, and it creeps in my mind late at night and early in the morning.
And in the afternoon.
And during the day, all we can think about is the right resolution is to find her.
I mean, like...
But as you know, increasingly,
1 o'clock,
in
2
the public,
o'clock, 3,
suspicion has turned
4,
on you.
Yes, definitely.
Did you ever hit her? Did you ever injure her?
No. My God, no. Violence towards women is unapproachable. It is the most disgusting act to me. And I know that suspicion has turned me. And it's turned me, one, because I'm her husband, and that's a natural thing, and I've heard all the statistics on all the news shows about that being, someone that a husband, ex-husband, a boyfriend, that is statistically the one who would be responsible for her disappearance. And I'm sorry, I forgot your question.
Did you ever hit her? Did you ever injure her?
Here's my talking points, Diane Sawyer. What did you ask again? Yes, Scott, those interviews, none of these interviews he does make him look good at all.
That's the guiltiest motherfucker I've ever. Like, I know, like I am quick to judge, but like
he does not look innocent. He's making himself look guilty. But like, anyways, just because you're an asshole and an idiot doesn't mean you're fucking a murderer. So Scott is public enemy number one in the Modesto area for sure. The rest of the country too. He's getting threatened, followed by the media wherever he goes. He says it's hard to live life right now. No charges against him, but he's still accused of horrible things. And the investigation continues with no leads really for the next little while. They do go search his house and warehouse again in February. This is where they find the evidence that he made more than one homemade bucket. Investigators find 5 circular marks in the cement dust on the floor that match the size of the bucket. But like he could have just fucked up the first one, moved the bucket over, poured more, made another. Like you could be right on that. Speculation being that he made 5. So 1 was for the boat because they saw one in the boat, and the other 4 were for Laci's arms and legs to hold Laci's body down under the ocean after he dumped her in his new boat. Police never find any direct evidence. I just want to repeat that. No evidence of that. They just say that, and it goes viral for the time. By March, since Laci hasn't turned up and the baby's due date was in February, the Modesto police changed the status of Laci's disappearance to murder. So they start to up the ante on the search a little bit. They search the bay again. Takes a couple of months, but on April 13th, 2003, 2 people walking their dog find the body of a male fetus on the shore of the San Francisco Bay. They thought it was like a doll. They went up to run up to like kind of see it, and it was an actual dead baby. Yep. The actual next day, a jogger sees a human torso about a mile away from the same area that the fetus was found. When the baby was found, no one really put 2 and 2 together, but the next day when they find the torso, they immediately think of Laci and the baby.
Oh, well, I mean, it can't be her. The baby was in the torso before.
It's actually, I'll describe how gross that is in a second. They can't really tell it's Laci, so they have to send the samples off to be tested for DNA. There is a clip on that Netflix documentary thing that I did watch that, where the police call him saying they found a body, or they call him for something, and he goes like, "Oh, they found the body," and the cops go, "No," or "We don't know yet," and he goes, "Phew." You can hear him go, "Phew," in the call, and you're like, wow, he just was relieved they didn't find the body yet. So there is something going on with that too. But they take the DNA from these bodies. While they're waiting for the results to come in, the public like 100% turns against. Like if there was any doubt now, everyone hates Scott. They didn't need results. It was already Laci and Connor. So on April 18th, the results are in. A couple days later, verifies that the bodies are those of Laci and Connor. Now, for sure, people think Scott did it. Why wouldn't they? Nancy Grace keeps telling them that he did. They didn't have any proof. Here's Nancy Grace spouting on her public opinion on how Scott Peterson.
And why you gotta do this to me?
Because I hate her so much, but also it's Nancy Grace. She's an icon. She's another national treasure.
An icon?
She's a national treasure, RJ.
She's an icon.
An
Yeah,
icon.
by the same virtue, so is Adolf Hitler. He's the icon of genocide.
That's true. I just like this. The reason I just want to highlight this. This chick is evil as fuck. I don't care if Scott's innocent or guilty. She made it sound like he's guilty no matter what, and made it really hard to get her impartial jury in reality. Like, this chick is fucking evil, and she does it with all cases, not just this one. Thankfully, there's so much saturation in true crime now that she's not the only one. Like, she was the only one, like, doing this heavily before. Now everyone does it, so it's like, it's so much, it's like too much, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you don't need to sell me on that. I hate this fucking bitch.
Laci Peterson, an expectant mother, going missing. The facts surrounding the story made it so much more poignant.
Just the music alone, like, it's trying to tell you that this guy fucking killed his wife, whether he did or not. You don't know. Be a Walter Cronkite. Just report the facts.
It was Christmas time. She was just about to give birth. The delivery of her son, her unborn son Connor, was imminent.
I mean,
Connor would be her first child, a baby boy.
If she was giving birth to a premature baby, it was imminent.
I guess we're living out the happiest time of their life when she went missing. Many people thought that Scott Peterson was handsome, attractive.
I myself have a dildo I named after.
Good looking, smart, college degree, job, car, golfer.
I've been in car.
Worshiped him.
Unlike most of the men that I dated prior to becoming
He had
famous,
everything, right? Beautiful wife.
even still after being famous,
Baby on the
cannot
way.
escape the gold diggers.
The facts didn't seem to gel together for me the way that Scott Peterson delivered them. There was something in his demeanor when he did not publicly beg for her return.
I hate her so much. Look at her
think-
fucking dumb face.
I was stunned. I kept watching Scott Peterson in his various statements. He would never give a public plea to fine.
Anyways, I can't do it. I just do that to torture both of us because I fucking
Thanks,
hate you.
man. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's
Fuck
great.
it. But look at it. Like this, it's just none of what she's saying is real. She's just saying this is what she thinks. It's fucking crazy.
I know. She just says that's all she does is just say shit.
I know. It's just crazy that like I don't know, man. Like there's too much. Like, this is in 2002. I like nowadays it's quadrupled the amount of fucking bullshit going on out there. It's so crazy. It boggles my mind when I think about it. The more I think about it. Okay, the autopsies are conducted by a guy named Dr. Brian Peterson, which I found it was awesome that he had the same last name. I was hoping it was like his uncle, but no, it's not. No relation. Connor's body had mutilations on his right side, a nylon cord wrapped around his body. Couldn't figure out what the mutilation was and exactly why there was a cord, because nobody knows. Nobody ever brought that up. There was a cord wrapped around the big kid. No reason for that. No one ever said.
Well, was it umbilical?
No, it was nylon.
Oh.
That's just, anyways, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody brings that up at court ever. At all. So Laci was missing her head, her arms, and parts of her legs. This led to speculation that Scott had dismembered her before throwing her out in the ocean. There would have been blood everywhere in that house or places. He is not a fucking forensic guy. Like he would have made a mistake for sure. She had cracked ribs and neck bones. Dr. Peterson disputes that there were any man-made incisions or evidence that any broken bones are made by human breaking. It would have been done underwater. He says that Connor actually died inside of Laci, and when she decomposed in the ocean, his body was expelled from her body when it decomposed enough. So like he stayed in because he was inside of her for like amount of time before he actually was born underwater, dead from decomposition. With the investigation now being a murder investigation, Scott's right in their crosshairs. They suspected him from day one and had been investigating him the whole time. So the police started following Scott. They put a tracker in his car. Eventually, he ditched that car, so the tracker meant nothing, but they're still surveilling him pretty hard. When he ditched that car, he was less than 30 miles away from the Mexican border, so they thought he'd actually ran over to Mexico. So they started following him even closer. On April 18th, 4 days after the DNA evidence is in, Scott notices someone following him on the highway, on the freeway, and then he starts to drive like an asshole to try and evade them. So much so that it was the cops following him. They thought he was going to run into someone, so they pull him over, decide to arrest him for murder then. Scott says he thinks it was the fucking media following him. Okay, sorry, I thought the media's chasing me, so I had to run. Scott claims he was meeting his brother for a game of golf. When he's pulled over, he's arrested for 2 felony counts of murder. They search his car. In his car, Scott had a bunch of money, $50,000, 2 sets of IDs, his brother's and his, 4 credit cards, one being his mother's and another his sister's, a bunch of clothes, 4 cell phones, camping equipment, 12 Viagra tablets. The car he was driving was an old Mercedes that was recently purchased under his mother Jackie's name. Scott had dyed his hair and grew himself a goatee.
I know that picture, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to flee from the cops. Like, it literally looks like that.
He looks like he regularly flees from the cops.
Got his brother's ID. He kind of suspiciously looks like his brother. Scott claimed all that stuff in the car was in there because he was, like, living in there. You know what I mean? Like, I can't live in my house. Media's following me everywhere, so I have all these clothes and my cash. I only have my brother's ID because I was trying to get cheap fucking golf the other day. My brother has his city discount. They're like, whatever, buddy, you're under arrest now. Scott's
Are we getting anywhere close to the part where I'm oh, second guessing everything I thought about him.
Once I tell you about all the stuff that no one ever talks about, sure. You tell me. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm still in the middle about this guy because he looks so fucking guilty. But like that's how they want us to see him. Then you start listening to other people saying like there's other people like robbing a house next door the day that happened. Like
Yeah.
yeah, so he goes and pleads not guilty, no goatee after he's booked. He's hired a big shot lawyer from LA named Mark Garagos. Garagos has defended many high publicity cases, like Winona Ryder in her shoplifting case, which he lost, which was funny. Or Michael Jackson child molester charges. He was defending Michael Jackson, which he got fired by Michael Jackson because he said he wasn't paying enough attention to his case. Scott Peterson case was taking up too much of his time, which is also humorous. You're gonna let me go to jail, Garagos. The trial was moved to San Mateo County to get away from the media coverage, but it's fucking everywhere. It doesn't matter anyway. Trial starts on June 1st, 2004. Scott's defense was that sure he was a cheater, but that didn't mean he's a murderer. They only had circumstantial evidence in his case. None of it directly connects Scott at all, and they haven't answered every other thing that they bring up. The prosecutor's case was that Scott killed Laci so he could be with Amber. The case went on until November when the defense rested their case. On November 12, 2004, a jury convicted Scott of 2 counts of murder, first degree with special circumstances for Laci, and second degree murder for killing Connor. A month later, the sentencing phase of the trial was over, and the jury rendered a sentence of death. Scott Peterson was going to die for what he'd done to his family, and everyone was pumped about it. There was cheering outside the courtrooms. They had watch parties where you see people erupt in fucking glee for a man about to die. His death sentence was resentenced in 2020 after his case was heard by the Supreme Court. The court found that Scott's trial judge had improperly dismissed jurors who opposed capital punishment, asking them whether they could put their views aside. He was resentenced to 49 years to life in prison, and that's where he is today. He's out of San Quentin now because he's not on death row, but now he's in a different prison. He's still fighting his case. And what do you think? You think he did it, obviously, right, RJ?
Yeah, man, I guess.
I don't know. I'm in the middle. So Scott Peter murders his wife. So there's so much circumstantial.
Scott Peter murdersoned his wife. Sure did, pal.
Scott Peterson murdered his wife. I'll have to talk like that. There's like so much circumstantial evidence here, so I'll just give you some. Scott was her husband. Usually husbands are responsible for murders of wives. Having an affair, doesn't want kids, lied about going golfing, didn't tell anyone he had a new boat, made homemade anchors, 5 of them, we think. The hair, actually, when they searched the boat, I forgot to mention this, they found a hair on the boat that had matching mitochondrial DNA as Laci, but like, Scott could have had her hair in him. Anyways, there was hair that matched Laci on the boat. How about Laci and Connor both being found around the same spot Scott had been fishing? This one here is the hardest one for me to get over, in my opinion. Like, it's super weird.
But that piece right there, Richard, if you have a hard time getting over a piece of evidence, maybe you don't need to get over it.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. If I don't need to get over, my point is, I look at a bunch of other stuff and I go like, okay, there's a bunch of like, there's reasonable doubt here overall the whole thing, except for that's the weirdest one that holds me back. If I were to like think about this case, that's the thing that gets me. Everything else is just like it's an hour and a half away. You know what I mean? It's not like it would have been like murder. If there was murderers or other people, they could have went anyway. Why'd they go exactly that way? So Scott's emotionless, which I don't know. There's people like that. I don't know if that makes you guilty. You just be different. Scott went to visit the Berkeley Marina 3 times in January, which I didn't talk, but while the cops are investigating the marina, he's there like scoping out the cops. Why are you doing this? Why are you out there watching the investigation? He didn't do any media at first. He only did media to try to save his ass. 2 weeks after Laci goes missing, Scott orders the Playboy channel. Scott's stories don't make sense. Like the story of her mopping and taking the dog for a walk. He like left at 9:30 in the morning. And the dog leash wasn't found till 10:17. That gives Laci like 45 minutes to do all this stuff before getting taken by someone, I guess. Scott sold her car in the weeks after she went missing. Scott was trying to sell the house weeks after he was arrested. What looks like an attempted escape. New car under his mom's name, the credit cards, cash on hand, different IDs, dyed hair and goatee, proximity to the Mexican border. All of this stuff makes him look super guilty, and I get that. Just the way he talks to interviewers, all this shit, whatever. So I can see why people gave him a guilty verdict. So Scott Peterson didn't murder his wife is the other theory. So some stuff in this case didn't sit well with me overall. First thing, Scott's lack of emotion. I don't know. I'm a pretty non-emotional guy. I think if Sarah went missing, like I'd be helping out for sure. And I do the media because I'm a attention whore. Thanks, Sarah, for dying. This is my big break. But these quieter guys wouldn't say as much. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? I could see that. There's witnesses that claim to have seen Laci walking the neighborhood the mid-morning of Christmas Eve. A bunch of her neighbors were found to be unreliable because they didn't really know Laci. It could have been any other pregnant girl walking with a fucking golden retriever. If they did see her, it messes with the entire theory of the prosecution because no, Scott would have had to drag her to the marina and she wouldn't have been in the neighborhood. There's no way Scott could have dumped her in the bay if she's seen walking around. So another thing that gives me a doubt is this fucking 14-foot boat. Okay, Scott bought a small ass boat. Boat fits maybe 4 people. It's not anywhere you could hide a body in the boat. Like it's a little middle, like 2 benches basically, where you can fish on both sides, and like you have like a middle part. There's like nowhere. There's no hiding spots. So you'd have a big, super obvious tarp in the middle of your boat in the middle of the day, driving out of a marina that's pretty busy in a big city. There would have been people there for sure.
But why would it have been busy on Christmas Eve?
Because not like, it's a giant city. Like not, I'm sure people are on their boats every single day.
Christmas Eve though, he's probably one of very few people who are out going fishing on Christmas Eve morning.
It's, I don't know, maybe you'd have to get into the marina. He'd have the body in the back seat of his fucking truck. Like, I guess, like there's just so many people around in the middle of the day. It's crazy to me, but maybe it's Christmas Eve and no one goes out on Christmas Eve. Okay. Here's another problem with the boat. There's a fucking 14-foot boat. Okay. And he has to dump a body off the side of this boat. Dead weight. She's 150 some pounds. Okay. For him to be able to lift that body over the side of the boat without it just flipping over is outrageous to me. Like, have you ever been in a boat that size? There's no way you're taking the size of you and being all the weight on one side without it just tipping over. Plus, he's got 4 fucking extra anchors, apparently, that like add an extra probably 60, 70 pounds that he has to throw over one at a time. It's flipping your boat. They even do like like the defense, they do like a test to see if they could do this. They buy the boat that's similar to the exact same size kind of thing, and they do it. And here, just you tell me if this looks fucked to you. Does it look like they're like faking it so they flip it on themselves, or does it look like he's actually legitimately trying to do this without flipping the boat? I guess you could hide the baby or the Laci's body in that little cubby hole in the front.
This is so fucked up.
That cops do this? Yeah, recreate crime scenes?
3. No, the cops didn't do this if it's his defense.
The defense did it, and also somebody else did it. Wait a second. Like, it doesn't look like he's trying to tip the boat. It looks like he's trying to not tip the boat. And that's 100 pound. That's not even like the same size as Laci. And she goes down. I don't know. That's a pretty big one for me. Is that boat, like, for him to just dispose of a body out in the middle of the ocean like they think he did, it doesn't match up. I don't think you could do it. I don't think you could do it. It's not helping that me convince you opposite.
No, I mean, like, you get, like, I am in agreement. Like, yeah, that looks hard. You can't convince me that it isn't possible that it happened. Do you know what I mean? Like,
okay. Not saying that, I'm not like, I just don't think that Scott
also,
doesn't.
Did you say they found her torso?
Yeah. You think Scott tore her apart?
It's a lot easier to do that if you cut somebody the fuck up.
You think that guy's a psycho and he cut people's head and arms off so he could dump them in the middle of the ocean?
Do I think the guy that we just saw in all those interviews is capable of cutting his pregnant wife's body up? You know, Richard, it's a stretch of the imagination, but I think it's definitely a possibility.
Okay. If you want to go like, okay, sure, Scott's a fucking cold-blooded killer. Did you see what he looks like in prison? He's got a fucking ponytail.
Yeah, and he's nonstop smiling.
He's running that joint there. I don't see it that way, but I can't tell you you're wrong because it's just both of us guessing. But my God. So yeah, like I said, there was witnesses that said they saw her at the boat looking at it. So she did see the boat. She was like trying to. Scott had a business meeting with some guys that went to his shop, and that was a week before while he had to stow the boat. And Laci came in to the shop to go to the washroom, so she would have walked right past the boat. And if she didn't ask any questions, that would have been shocking. So they don't, nobody knows for sure, but she was near the boat anyway. Whether she noticed it or not, I don't know. A bunch of the the jurors were replaced during the trial for misconduct, which could have leaned it towards him being guilty from the juror side of things. One of them was kicked off for talking to Laci's brother on the way to court. I can't do that. Another juror was kicked off during deliberations. He was questioning the circumstantialness of the thing and like fact checking some stuff on the internet. And they're like, wait a second, you can't go check the internet. So they had to kick him off the jury. The one guy that was asking questions, they were like, stop asking questions, get off. No internet for you. This juror is replaced with a lady who was known during the trial as Strawberry Shortcake because of her red hair. Her real name's Rochelle Nice. She was found out later that she committed juror misconduct by not disclosing she was abused in the past by her boyfriend while she was pregnant the year before. That would have definitely made her get disqualified for being a biased jury member, but she didn't disclose. That was found out way later. That's actually what one of the things that LA Innocence Project is bringing up to try and get him his sentence changed or whatever. One more jury thing. Gregory Jackson, the jury foreman, requested his own removal from the jury, and he was a smart guy. He had a doctorate in medicine, and he had a law degree. Supposedly, he didn't think Scott was guilty, but when he voiced his opinion during deliberations, he was threatened with violence. So when he got back to the courtroom, he told the judge that he felt threatened, and they kicked him off the jury and kept the threatener on the jury, which I find super backwards. The guy who replaced him spent only 9 hours deliberating before they came to a verdict. The porn thing, who gives a shit? The internet provides 24-hour-a-day porn service now. If you've been in a fight with his wife about infidelity, like he claims, maybe it was her idea. You just get yourself a porn channel instead of banging chicks on the side. How's that sound? There are reported witnesses that he'd been seen Laci walking around with the dog around 10 a.m. If that's true, Scott never dumped her. That didn't follow the prosecution's timeline, so it was never reported on. It was brought up multiple times in evidence. Defense didn't find these witnesses on time, some of them too. Cops said that none of these witnesses knew it was Laci for sure. They just knew it was a petite lady walking around the same time with a golden retriever. How many people in this neighborhood have golden retrievers? That's my real question. Like, how many pregnant people have golden retrievers? It's got to be a lot. Scott wasn't thought of as the guy who did it by the family until the cops said she was having an affair. I don't know. That's all the evidence that points that Scott really didn't do it. There's a bunch of people saying that she was not in there. They saw her walking around at 10:30, 11 o'clock, so he couldn't have been with him. The boat would have flipped if she chucked it off. And so what if he doesn't have emotion? I don't think makes you a murderer. And he cheated on people, big deal. That shit happens all the time. No, it doesn't mean murder happens.
Well, Richard, I gotta say, I am absolutely shaken to my core by how revealing that evidence was.
What's real stuff?
Nothing else was real.
I'm just joking. I'm just trying to get some sort of like, I know. I'm pretty sure Scott did it, but I mean,
I agree with you that they don't have good evidence that he did it, but sometimes vibes are enough.
You think so?
I think so. In this case, I think they got it right. Do I think that they rightfully got it right? No, they probably did not do it correctly, but it just like, you know what I mean? Like but there's no doubt in my mind that like he is where he needs to be.
You want to hear what the other theory is? So who it was instead of Scott?
Sure.
This is another one that kind of gives me a little bit of a. So there was a robbery directly across the street from the Petersons, like where they lived at the exact same time, at the exact same day. Rudy and Susan Medina, who lived right across the street from the Petersons, leave their home on December 24th at about 10:30 for a short holiday to LA. They get back on December 26th, find their house has been robbed by the Wet Bandits, because that's when they attacked. I'm assuming it's the Wet Bandits. I'm assuming they called themselves the Wet Bandits because they thought they were fun. On January 2nd, Stephen Todd and his friend Donald Price were arrested for this crime. When arrested, apparently Stephen Todd, unprompted, told the arresting officer that he had nothing to do with the lady and her baby. Did anybody say the lady and the baby? Why are you saying the lady and the baby? Now I think you are the lady and the baby. So that's weird. Then they also get in there, they claim that they robbed the place on December 27th, not the 24th. It would have been the 27th. Now we know this isn't true because the Medinas were back on the 26th, and by the 27th, the house would have been surrounded by media and police. Literally, one of the people, the media members that like the reporters that were there were like, if I saw a guy pull up to this house, I would have interviewed him. Like, if he was trying to rob this house, I would have interviewed him if it was the 27th. Nobody came that day. So they're lying about the day they came. They're, for some reason, randomly saying that they had nothing to do with it. Okay, this is another thing. Somebody else, one of the neighbors that said they saw her walking with a dog, said there's two guys following her, telling the dog to shut the fuck up. So that's the theory, that she walked outside, saw these guys robbing, the dog's barking at them, they yell at her to shut the fucking dog up, and I guess they panic and kill her or steal her away. See, that's the hardest part. Like, why do they do it? Just because she's out there yelling at them? Hey, don't steal my neighbor's shit.
Panic and kill her.
That's what I mean. Like, that's the hardest part to like.
No. No, nope.
It goes against, like, I'm all for the daytime shit too. Like, everything happened in the middle of the day, so like there'd be a lot of witnesses and shit. And if like Scott was carrying out a dead body, because they didn't like have a garage to throw in the trunk or whatever, that lady was outside finding the dog running around at like 10:15. He would have had like a very short window where there was no one in the neighborhood to see him bringing that body out. So it's the same thing with the robbery. If there was only one person, like Laci and I think there's some other lady that saw them robbing.
I mean, like, it's entirely plausible I'm missing shit, but like, why? Like, when was the last time someone saw her alive?
Saw her or heard from her was 8:30 the night before. Her mom talked to her on the phone.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that that's a lot of time. Like,
no, but then there's her like shopping for a fucking scarf at like 9:30 in the morning or like 8:45 in the morning on the internet. Unless it's super smart Scott going on the internet.
No, it's not smart. That's what I'm saying is like that shit is not smart because it's a guy trying to cover for himself. That's exactly what that voicemail sounds like, man. Like that those are all like, I know you said earlier you can't be smart and dumb, but it's like, yes, you can, because the things that he's doing that are smart are in fact dumb. Like and it's not something that I think like
what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's what he's doing is smart. What I'm saying is he's thinking ahead, being smart about this, like being like, if I make all these fake things, people are gonna think this, and that's the things he's doing and not smart, but he's being smart enough to think that. But then also at the same time, he's not thinking ahead. Maybe if I leave the yellow pages open for the defense lawyers in town, the cops won't just look at that and think I'm looking for a lawyer. Maybe I should close that. He's not thinking ahead on that. So you can't be both. You can't be like thinking ahead of on everything except for like really dumb shit that he could have just thought ahead of too.
Nah, I mean, I think like if you get an idea in your head about doing stuff, it doesn't mean that you don't still be stupid and make dumb fucking mistakes. Do you know what I mean? All of that stuff sounds like very, like, those are things you had time to plan. You know what I mean? Like, and think about, especially if he's like sick of being married to this lady and has no empathy whatsoever as a human being and wants to be with this girlfriend that he's been lying to, saying he doesn't have a fucking wife. Man, the fact that like there's doubt that he didn't, that's crazy to me. That's insane.
Nah, he didn't do it.
I mean, that's cool. Like, I guess if literally no part of whether he did it or not changes my life in any way, shape, or form.
I put it this way. I'm so like, I don't think it's beyond him to kill his fucking wife to get out of being married.
No, I don't think that you don't
sure.
either. I do agree with you that the evidence against him is sucky, but that boils down to the same thing we say on this show all the time. Cops are fucking idiots.
For sure.
They didn't do their job well enough. That's more or less what all of this stuff ends up coming to. It's just like I mean, the biggest example of that I think will always be the the making a murderer shit, when like all this Netflix true crime stuff like popped the fuck off, where the guy was framed by the cops, but that doesn't mean he didn't fucking do it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he totally killed that other lady.
He absolutely killed that second lady.
Yeah, for sure. First one he didn't, but absolutely did. But yeah, right. Cops aren't trustworthy, and they do a terrible job on a lot of things. And I do think cops fucking did not do a great job on this. But Scott could have done it. I'm not saying they couldn't have done it. I'm just saying that like whatever their theory is probably isn't right on how he did it. Maybe it's that. Like, because if for me to think that he went on that boat, maybe just he had to have brought her out there. It makes no sense otherwise. Because like he went fishing in that same spot. Come on, Come on. There's no way that he didn't bring her there. That's the hardest thing for me. Like
Yeah.
I can't. Everything else is pretty fucking circumstantial, and I find that scary. That like, let's pretend he didn't do it, which is even crazier. And like
Oh,
he just
okay.
got
Yeah.
caught.
I'll also just go and walk over to the east wing of my mansion and grab myself an alcoholic drink that I can totally drink without it being an issue.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm
you can
just
get
saying
caught
if
in
we're
something like that.
fantasizing here.
Just saying, if you can get caught in something like that, like, and you didn't do it, if he didn't do it, he's the least lucky like person on the planet, because like all that shit points to him, and he didn't do it. Like it's like Gone Girl, like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like
except
that.
for he did actually do it.
Which would absolutely fucking rip, and I would still think he deserves that if Lacey's somewhere like alive and her and Amber just like did that to him.
Yeah.
That rocks because he's still a fucking loser.
That's true. Yeah, let's hope it's like Gone Girl. That's the solve today. I hope it's like
Yeah.
Gone Girl, and she's
Yeah,
survived.
I hope he didn't do it and that he's unfairly serving his sentence. No, he's such a cringy fucking creep.
Yeah, they just did a Peacock thing with him, face to face interview with Scott Peterson behind jails 21
Ugh.
years later.
Who cares?
And it's like he claims innocence still. It's just hard. Like it's like what's that fucking Adnan Syed case that Serial? Remember that podcast Serial?
No.
Yeah, it was like one of the first super big like serialized podcasts that like it's like This American Life, This American Life, like the NPR.
Yeah.
Well, they had like a spin-off thing where they were going to do like 6 or 7 episodes on like a certain thing, like kind of like This American, but then it turned into this big podcast, like huge podcast, where they found this kid in high school. He got put in jail for the killing of his girlfriend, who was like 16, 17 at the time, and he super claims his innocence. And this podcast went in and they kind of like ran through what he said happened and all this stuff, and they kind of like agreed with him, like, I don't think he did it. And then the case got relooked at and all this kind of stuff. And it went to Supreme Court and they like took off his sentence because of poor policing or whatever. A couple days later, he was rearrested again. They loopholed him back in. But like, it's him. I think he fucking killed this girl for sure. Adnan did it. Like, I'm that guy. If anybody wants to fight me about that. There's like super huge camp on both sides. But I think he did it, but he spends like 20, 30 years in prison being like, I never did it, which has got to be fucking hard on you, dude. Like, especially if you did it, just fucking admit to it and get over it and move on.
I don't know, man. I feel like the more you tell yourself that lie, I mean, your human brains are pretty adaptable, especially when they want to fucking trick themselves into a reality. I mean,
you think you could erase it just by saying it all the
hence
time?
the world we're living in. Yeah, absolutely.
Your own, you did it though.
Doesn't matter because the whole point is self-preservation. And that extends to even when you're currently being, punished for it existing. I mean, we all have so many examples of people being exonerated without, after actually serving enough time to pretty much serve their whole fucking sentence. Do you think those lunatics are going to give up hope that doesn't happen to them? Because it's beyond even just serving the prison sentence. It's being validated and being right the whole time.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I think it's plumb fucking easy to just keep believing that you're innocent and saying it.
But like that implies that, okay, let's say that's true, which I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying thought exercise. So you erase it by saying I'm innocent the whole time.
I don't think you erase it.
So you just always know it's in there, but it just becomes easier and easier to say.
Yeah.
Like I think it'd be harder. I think it'd like weigh on you more and more because you already
because you, Richard, have a conscience. and you have self-awareness that these fucking lizard monsters don't have the capacity for.
All right, I'm ending the episode on that.
Okay.
RJ was being nice to me.
I just watched Private Dicks and I think RJ's the funniest.
What? Come on.